What's going on, YouTube? Lasagna here, back with another episode of Road to 2000. Today we're starting at 1720, and let's see where the chess.com queue takes us. We're placing Chess Elo Master 1, and let's go knight f6. And I'd say we're full throttle into the winter season, folks. I don't know if you've noticed out there, but it's looking pretty white. I guess that depends where you're at, but here in Canada, looking pretty winter out there. Christmas coming up as well. Hopefully y'all, done your Christmas shopping, or if you're 14 years old, then hopefully you were a good boy this year, or girl. All right, I don't know what's going on in this game. I think we're fine here. Just some sort of Pierce. Really tempted to put the move e5. Takes. I mean, we might get like a queen trade, but let's cross that bridge when we come to it here. I think the whole idea here is to play e5, so may as well get her done. And it's a lovely Saturday morning here. Looks like the sun's shining out there, so maybe I'll try to get outside today for a change. Sometimes I find I'm pretty cooped up in the winter months. Okay, I mean, taking doesn't seem that bad. It does like open up the bishop, which he's locked out of play for the moment, so maybe that's not the best idea. I think I'm just gonna mirror him here with rook e8. Kind of want to develop the bishop at some point. This position just seems chill, like not a whole lot going on. I think white hasn't played the most ambitious line here because, I was giving him the full center and he put his pawn on e3 here. So his bishop is going to suffer a little bit. Okay, knight b4 looks normal. Knight b4, bishop e2. Maybe I could go like c6, a3 there. I have to go back with the knight. I mean, that still seems fine to me. I'm just going to play this move. He's also going to meddle with the prospects of this fork too, so... Oops. Whoa, that was close. Almost pre-moved into disaster there, but I guess he has to move the bishop so the fork won't be here next turn. But I do have d4, or e4, like attacking the knight here. Seems interesting. c6 also looks like a move. d4, knight e2, or knight d2, and he'll have 3 attackers on this pawn. I mean, I could play f5 in that position. I don't know if it's any good, but I also know that if I spend more than 2 minutes here, I'm going to lose on the clock. So let's just go d4. And maybe this opens up the possibility of swinging my knight into d3 here, which hits the bishop and the rook. Like, he could take, of course. Bishop f5 at the end there, hitting the queen. Not sure if it's any good. It does, like, sack a pawn. But, yeah, probably not necessary. He does go knight e2. So I guess this move doesn't sack a pawn because his queen's blocked from the connection to the square. So if I go like here, takes, let's say knight back to f3, attacking this pawn. If we go bishop f5 there, that seems pretty decent. I think this is probably a good move. It might seem a little suspicious that we have a pawn kind of infiltrating deep into enemy lines with seemingly easy ways to attack it. But I think bishop f5 does protect it. Now, I guess the knight and the rook do defend this. Maybe after knight f3, bishop f5, maybe he can take. Or not take, but push. No, he can't, because I'd have 1, 2, 3 defenders, and he'd only have 2. So, anyways, if you're not following the calculations here, I'll show you after the game. And maybe the calculations aren't even correct, because, you know, I've fallen victim to that many times, looking in the analysis and just being like, lasagna, what are you talking about? None of that even makes any sense. So I've kind of made the realization throughout this series that spending long time calculating doesn't usually net good results, because I just have no time and the calculations usually aren't even accurate anyways. Yeah, that makes sense. I think he's just claiming he's going to win this later, and it's not a big deal. I could try to challenge the center right now. Yeah, because now I don't have bishop f5. That's actually pretty smart on his part. So now after knight f3, I'm not going to be able to win the pawn. Or defend the pawn with bishop f5. If I go bishop g4, I think he just plays f3, so that doesn't look very good. I think I am going to play c6. I think I have to do something in the center sooner than later. Because like if I just let him get these moves in and win this pawn back, he's going to be better, just up a pawn. So yeah, I think we have to challenge the center, maybe b5 and stuff. Okay, that's a weird move. Does b5 make any sense? I don't think so. Queen c7 has some logic to it. Takes. He takes with the pawn. I don't know. I think I kind of like taking. I can't really explain it. I feel like I want to get to this knight. So like a6, b5, and this. And then if I can destabilize the knight, maybe I can take here is kind of my logic. So let's go for that. I'm not sure how correct that is. I mean, worst case scenario here, we're down a pawn and like whatever, you know, like shouldn't be the end of the world. It is like a center pawn, so yeah, knight f3. We knew that move was coming. So here takes b4. He'll have 2 defenders on this pawn because the queen would then be defending it. It still feels like it should be a decent idea. Okay, he just stops it. Yeah, okay. I'm just going to admit that I've made a mistake here and give him the pawn. I didn't really like the idea of his bishop pinning here. So, I mean, my bishop doesn't have any life on this diagonal, so let's put it here. Maybe just rook c8 and I don't know what I'm arguing. We're down a pawn. Doesn't look great, but it is what it is. Just go here, I guess. Just hit the bishop. Apply some pressure down the center. Just gonna go queen b6 here, attack the knight. And the position isn't terrible. Like, I don't know. We do have a nice bishop here. His does attack my weak pawn, but I feel like mine's a lot stronger on this long diagonal here. But I don't know, it's not much. We're still down a pawn at the end of the day, but I mean, maybe there'll be like bishop d4 with an attack on this pawn, and okay. Yeah, not sure what to do from here. Maybe just stack the rooks or something. Let's just go for that, I guess. I don't know. We are down a minute and a half at the end of the day. We do have to move. We could stack it this way or this way. Haven't really decided. Just stack this way, I guess. Maybe there's like threats of this with, because if it takes, then I take. Let's just go here. Maybe I can like take, I don't know. I think the knight is best served in the center, so I'm just trying to reroute it a little bit. I know his idea is to put something here, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Okay, so now I think I could probably take. Takes, takes, takes. You can't take his takes. Let's go for this. Also, the knight's pinned, by the way. After the move f3. Just take back here. Okay, he just unpins the knight. Could just come here. Just attack the queen. Maybe swing the rooks over this way now, because this file doesn't really seem to have the action anymore. So maybe we come this way. I think this game will be decided on time, so I think my plan is just to move quickly here. Again, I can always trade, by the way, if I need to. Gotta be careful always of this sneaky bishop over here as well. Like if my queen gets distracted, losing this pawn would be a disaster. Well, don't have much of an option. Let's go here. I don't know if we take with the pawn or the rook. I think we take with the rook just to defend the pawn. Maybe there's this move. I'm a little bit concerned about the move f4 in response, though. I still don't love the position just because of my really weak pawn here. In fact, he can just take it in this position. He has 3 attackers and I only have 2 defenders. So he is going to win the pawn back. Okay, he doesn't do it. I think we just go here, maybe. I'd like to push it if I can, but I don't think that ever works. If I take, he takes. If I push, that looks fine. He can't take because I take. And now he's got the weak pawn, kinda. I mean, he always has this move, but... Okay, attacks the queen. Could push. This looks fine, too. This move looks scary, to be honest. Okay, he doesn't do it. Just attack here. I think I'm going to go for the triple stack. I'm a little bit concerned about this. Kind of want to go here. Just protect everything. Stop this push as well. Oh, he takes here. Then I take here. That was just silly. I mean, we just shuffled a bunch at the end there. But hey, points are points, baby. I'm fired up that we won that. Let's take a quick look at the analysis. I mean, other than the time scramble, that game was kind of just like boring, rearranging and shuffling. But I mean, as we get kind of better at chess and we get into the higher rating, some games are going to be like this, where there's not like a bunch of insane attacking going on. It's just like a balanced game. And sometimes I find I get that with this opening. Like, it's like if your opponent doesn't want to play ambitiously, is that a move? With ambition, maybe? Then you kind of get these slow games where we're both like, I don't know. I don't know if I would recommend this opening, but now that I'm here and I have a lot of knowledge about the opening, I feel like I'm kind of like, maybe I'll try something new at some point, but like lines where you get e4 here, like this is more exciting because you can like, you know, play on the king side and go for a king side attack. Like the main lines are a lot of fun for both sides. But like these kind of positions where you just kind of have to play normal chess, like not a whole lot going on in this position. Okay, e4 was correct. This move wasn't correct though. What was I supposed to do here? Just bishop g4, bishop f5. Just kind of chilling in this position. I don't know why I've decided to put the knight here, because yeah, I couldn't really hold on to the pawn. Apparently I'm supposed to go knight d7 here, which is kind of a weird move. And I'm supposed to take the knight and go knight c5. That's interesting. It's pretty unusual that you'd voluntarily give up the dark square bishop here, but anyways, we decided to go c6 and take. And my idea was that like I wanted to like shoo this knight away so that, you know, we have pressure here and maybe down the long diagonal as well, but he parried it pretty well with a3 here. And then I was kind of stuck, and I was just like, okay, I got to keep it moving. Let's go h6. And I decided just to sack the pawn. And then the middle game consisted of him trying to like exploit this square, I think. Like he was trying to like position his knights such that he could put one here, and that would be very uncomfortable for me. And my plan was kind of just to like lock this bishop out and maybe use the long diagonal with the files. So that's what we get here. And I was able to use this tactic to my advantage with the pawn that was a little bit loose because of the pin on the rook here. F3 was still considered the best move. This move seemed a little wild to me because like this bishop and the queen like pinning to the king, it seemed like it was going to yield some tactics, and it also like hangs this move, but I don't know, for some reason it's still considered the best move. He goes king h1 to defuse the pin. I just moved the bishop here. And this was an inaccuracy probably because my bishop can be targeted here. And like now after he takes, there's kind of a lot of pressure on my weak pawn here. So I think he made a mistake later on. But yeah, this move seemed a bit short-sighted because I'm just able to play d5 here. If I didn't have d5, like I would be kind of in rough shape because, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4 attackers on this weak pawn, and I can't take because of takes. But luckily I have d5, and at this point he only had 57 seconds, and I had little time as well. So we were both kind of just like shuffling around. Like I had this weak pawn, and he had this weak pawn, so we were just kind of like shuffling, like making threats and defending, and eventually I just throw in some moves to confuse him because he had 5 seconds, and just like bullet strategies, to be honest. And we take home the victory with a flag. So again, not much exciting stuff there, but well, let's play another game because that was a little anticlimactic. All right, game 2 against PK Rao from India, sorry. Okay, we get a e4 opening here. Let's go c5. Okay, we get g3. Interesting move. We might get like a closed Sicilian. Okay. I've never seen this before. It's kind of like an Alapin mixed with a closed Sicilian. Not sure about this. I'm just going to continue with bishop g7. Okay. c3 is a weird inclusion if he's not going to play d4. Kind of makes me wonder what to do in this position. I think I'm just going to start with d6. Can't be a bad move. Okay. I'm wondering about my knight h6 line, because like I think it's probably decent in this position. I've gotten myself into some trouble playing this in the past, but I don't know. Okay, queen b6 is weird. I could. Stella, no attacking my plant. No. My cat is ferociously attacking my plant in the background, so that's a little distracting. I mean, there's usually like these kind of moves in whenever they put the queen here. Let's go queen b6. All right. Yeah, I'm not familiar with this position at all, by the way. I'm kind of considering going f5. I don't know if it's any good. I think I just want to go e5, f5. I can't really explain why I want to play these moves. I think just control the center a bit. Like, if I can get e5 in, I think clamping down on this square makes some sense. Do we take with the knight? Maybe taking with the bishop is okay as well. Let's take with the bishop. It develops another piece. Maybe we can play e5 next move. Probably knight f7 at some point. Get the knight back in the game somehow. Maybe like this. Chess.com is calling this the Sicilian defense, Lasker Dunn attack. So let me know in the comments if this is something you're aware of. I don't think, I've probably played hundreds, if not thousands of games in the Sicilian. So, okay. I don't think I want to take, well, do I? Takes. If knight takes and I take, he does have this option. If takes, pawn takes, he has an isolated queen pawn. I think I will take. We do get these ugly isolated doubled pawns. Okay, I should probably take. Gotta be careful of this. I could go bishop g7, takes, no, that, well, takes, we take here with the trapping the rook. So bishop g7, take, it's even material, take, he's up a rook, bishop g2, or, well, yeah, if bishop g2, I take the rook. And it's back to even material. I don't know. I'm gonna do it. I don't think I lose material here. Okay, he doesn't go into the complications here. I don't blame him. So I think now this move kind of makes sense. So does this. Here he might go here, and then I have this ugly backwards pawn forever. Here. Well, then he loses a rook, so I guess we try this. Yeah, I was kind of wondering about knight c3. I mean, I can just take, to be honest. I think it makes sense. Just offer the traitor rooks. He can take here. And we traded his center pawn for our ugly double pawn, so I think that's a win. We can also take here if we want, but I don't think it's necessary. We could play e5. e5 doesn't seem that bad. Kind of anchoring our bishop forever on this beautiful square. It does give him this square, though, for the knight. Maybe bishop e6 is a move to prevent this move, hit the pawn as well. Bishop e6, if rook here, there's check, so let's do this. I don't know if it's a great move, but okay, that one's a little strange. I could take, and take this pawn. To be honest, that seems pretty good, so I'm just gonna do that. Just up a pawn now, and of note is that we have bishops of the same color, so it's not like a drawn position. I'm gonna go king f7 here. Just protect my pawn. Just go here, attack the rook. I have to figure out what I'm doing with this rook. So if I go here and he attacks it, I just have rook b8. Doesn't seem the best to tie up all my pieces like that, but otherwise I don't know how I'm defending the pawn, so let's go here. And we are down on the clock pretty significantly. Opponent's playing very quickly. But we are up a pawn, so that's good news. Okay, I don't really know what that does. Kind of want to just centralize the king, maybe put it here. Maybe I could like swing my rook or something somewhere. This bishop's kind of annoying because I want to put my rook on this square probably. I mean, this kind of makes sense to me to put it like this. Yeah, putting it on the e-file seems pretty good. If I go here and he goes here, here, I don't know, I'm just gonna do it. Yeah, I'm not sure what I'm gonna do if this, like I could take, but then he's attacking my pawn here. I guess there's king c6 there. Yeah, my rook's a little stuck, to be honest. I'm just gonna go here. Try to catch up on the clock a little bit. I'm not sure where I want to put my rook. Let's see, check here. Check. He can take. That doesn't look very good. Yeah, I don't really want his king to come in here. Let's go here, I guess. Just hit the bishop. Probably not going to talk too much here. I don't really want to lose the game, so I got to get these pawns going somehow. Gonna go e5 here, attack the pawn, which is pinned. Gotta move. Oh, shoot. Damn. My king's so stuck over here. Don't try this at home, folks. If you can help being down 3 minutes on the clock in a rapid game of chess with no increment, I would strongly recommend against it. Just if you're wondering. Okay, he's losing this pawn, though. Here, I take... Here... I mean, he's not even threatening anything there. He can't take. I'm guessing he's gonna come like here or something, and then try to attack this pawn. Oh, he does take. Okay, well, this is just over. Ah! Oh, but I promote, so it's genius. I just lost my mind, and it was just a good move. I just like completely blanked out there. Okay, this is over. All right, we can rest easy there. GG's, that was a hard-fought game. Felt like I was kind of letting it slip, but my position was just like so solid there at the end that not much you could really do. So for those of you that don't know the king-queen checkmate, which I'm assuming most of you do, you just stay a knight's distance away from the king, and then you bring your king and deliver the mate here. So GG's to PK Rao. And that's 2 dubs today, folks. That feels good. Let's take a look at the analysis. So in that one, I had an 82% accuracy. PK Rao had a 77. And we get a Sicilian here, and like I was saying during the game, this is not something I'm familiar with. It's kind of like a hybrid between multiple different openings in the Sicilian. Like C3 is a move. In fact, this is the one I play, the C3 Sicilian. Combined with the bishop on G2, I'm not super familiar with though. So I decided to go knight A6 here, knight H6. The reason for this move is that it lends just a bit more support to the D4 square, because if I put it on F6, maybe he can play D4. He can play D4 in this position too, but it just, now that the bishop's like covering it, it's just, I like these lines because it also makes it so you can play F5, which is kind of an interesting move and something that white usually doesn't expect. So he plays Queen B3, and yeah, Queen B6 is like up there in the top moves. It's not the best move though. I guess E5 is the best move here. But I do this, and now we just get this like queenless middle game. Was taken with the bishop best? Yeah, bishop takes F5 was best. There's some argument for like all of these captures, like G takes. Maybe you can argue that the center is it'll be pretty strong with the 4 pawns in the middle. Bishop takes, it's like you're just developing another piece, and knight takes, knight on F5 is usually pretty strong. I decided to take with the bishop, just prioritizing the development. He takes on H6 here, and decides to play a D4. Okay, C takes D4 is one of the best moves. And we get this position where he's got this isolated pawn. We have the bishop pair as well. And yeah, and the line I was calculating in the game was takes takes, 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 bishop g2. Okay, I guess bishop g2 is wrong. Oh, he has a check here, but I play e6. And he's got to move anyways, so I don't see the point. I guess he can go bishop b3. Okay, takes g4. Oh, that's kind of cool. G4 here to my bishop's gotta move, and then he takes with check. That's kind of fun. Anyways, that's what I was calculating in the game for those of you that were wondering. But he just defends the pawn. That's fair enough. I decided to go rook a4, which if you could play this move, then this would be a little bit dangerous with my backwards pawn that's kind of prohibited from moving forward. Well, not prohibited. I guess I could play this move in the future, but maybe that softens up this pawn. But he can't play this move because his knight isn't developed yet, so his rook will be trapped. So he continues knight c3. I take, and yeah, now we're just up a pawn. Or sorry, not up a pawn, but we traded his center pawn for my probably my worst pawn on the board, right? Like the doubled b7 pawn. So that's pretty good. And we have the bishop pair still. So bishop e6 I thought was kind of a fun move. Just a backwards move, exposing the attack here, and maybe stopping his knight from coming in the center, attacking my weak pawn here. So he does this, which seems wrong to me. Oh, there was just a hanging pawn here. I didn't see that. But I did see that I could take the knight and then take the pawn here. And I don't think I'm going to go through all this. Just kind of brought my king to the center here, trying to keep everything defended. We are much better in this position, by the way. It says it's like -2. I don't know if I really liked my plan of putting the rook on e6 here. It felt like what I was thinking is that maybe I could like come back here and start causing some problems on the back rank this way. But I ended up never being able to do that because he like blocked with the bishop here. So I just kind of had to go back. And I felt like he was applying some pressure here. But I found in this position I was a little bit scared. Because if I just kind of rest on my laurels here, then he's going to be able to play this move. And after takes, now I have to move my rook. And like he's got this like permanent pressure on this weak g6 pawn, and it felt like he was getting back in the game here. But I found this move e5, which is kind of nice. At first it kind of looks like a blunder because it's like lasagna. Your pawn's pinned, but his pawn is also pinned, so it's like a double pin here, and I'm threatening to take with the rook. So he pushes and takes here, and I thought he might try bishop takes f5, but I was going to block here. And after, oh, he can't take, sorry, because the bishop's pinned here. So that would have been good for us. Instead, he takes with the pawn, and we do some shuffling here. But rook f6, although it's a little passive, it just keeps everything defended, and my idea was that I just wanted to come and pick up this pawn. So that's what we do. We just kind of swing the king over here. I guess the position's like almost even after the move bishop d5. Ah, that makes sense. He's actually just like cutting off all the light squares, and maybe he can play like check, and it'll probably just be like, I probably will have a hard time making progress here. But yeah, so that would have been nice by him. He had the time to think about it too, but he was just kind of trying to pressure me on the clock. And now in this position, he's just like losing the pawn because I can block with the bishop, and like he doesn't have anything to defend his dark squares. Not like he can teleport his king over here or something. So we pick up that pawn, and now it's just like we get the 3 connected pass pawns. The rook, like he can't even like really check me because I just have this wall of pawns protecting, and the rook does a nice job protecting the weak ones on the 6th rank. And it's kind of funny, in this position, I did hang my rook. Like, I didn't even consider, like, really that I was promoting. Like, I kind of did, but, like, I also kind of just blanked out and just forgot that my rook was under attack here. Oops. So he takes and I queen. And I was kind of considering if I could sack in this position, but with the pawn too close, my king can't really get back. So I just stayed patient and got his king into a good position for me to just make checks whenever I need to. And started pushing my pawns. Even in this position, I think if I take... Yeah, it's okay here because I promote. But even here, yeah, I just sack the queen for the rook and promote. And then promote the other pawn, deliver the king-queen checkmate. And GG's. We are 1744, folks. Well established into the 1700s and a good day of chess. So I'm going to enjoy the rest of my Saturday, and I hope you guys have a good rest of your day as well. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to comment, like, and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.